So, Leo, the red horse.
Yes, we're up to the red horse now, and we've just covered the white horse in the previous podcast, which we've associated with being Donald Trump being the rider. The red horse is all about globalism. Actually, what I wouldn't mind you doing is, could you read the verse out of Revelation there? Because I think it'll explain, because we worked out previously that the horse and the rider are a little bit different to what conventional wisdom suggests.
So Revelation 6:4, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword.
The red horse is actually a system. It is not like Donald Trump is the rider of the white horse. This is a system. It's actually globalism.
Yep.
And the 10 kings that we know about it's actually in Daniel and Revelation, and it's also reflected as the 10 toes, also in Daniel, represents this globalism, and it's going to come back with a vengeance after Donald Trump leaves the White House, or in some other way he is removed. The Restrainer, it does say in the Bible that the Restrainer will be removed, and we see Donald Trump as being one and the same. On that basis there, what we're going to see is the red horse is going to be moving to cause absolute destruction, wars, and trouble all over the world very quickly. And what we've been seeing in the era, which we're now seeing with Donald Trump and tariffs, where we're seeing sovereignty, individual sovereignty, sovereignty of nations, that is going to go. These 10 kings represent a system which is a globalist system, and just what it is, not 100% sure. We don't know whether they come from industry, whether they come from different nations, whether they're actually kings without kingdoms. Exactly who they are, we're not clear at the moment, but they're swirling around at the moment, restrained, and they're going to be released from this restraint once the restrainer is removed.
Trump.
And that's Trump, and I guess with the authority of God is going to force that issue of that restraint being, or the restrainer being removed. So as soon as that happens, you're going to get these 10 kings, and we've got to look at it in another light too. They are going to have a battle with Mystery Babylon. Mystery Babylon exists. I think we can more or less say this is the deep state that exists all over the world and has existed for a long period of time. Exactly what it is, again, it's not clear, but it could be to do with the banking and financial systems. It could be done with other things as well, which is keeping a control over people and various systems.
Yeah, so we're talking, the red horse is all about globalism, world domination.
Yep.
And then we've got one world leader coming up.
Well, that's right. Because
So who's that?
Well, we don't know that, and we're not going to know that one, Murray. But what's going to happen is we're going to get these 10 kings overthrowing Mystery Babylon. Mystery Babylon will graduate into Babylon the Great, and it's at that point of time that these 10 kings, there's obviously going to be a bit of a struggle going on, and there's going to be a little horn, or the Antichrist pokes his head up, overthrows 3 of these kings and takes control of the whole system. And that is the Antichrist, of course. And he's going to be using, and he's the one with the great sword. Well, the great sword, of course, is using blaspheme, all sorts of words. He's an anti-God character. And he's going to go out there causing all sorts of mayhem and disaster against anybody who believes in God, because he stands against God.
So when he overthrows 3 of the kings, do they get destroyed, or are they just bow down to him now? Are they still there? Is there now 11 kings?
Yep. I think it's really not clear, but it seems like 3 of the kings are almost plucked out and he comes up and overthrows them. I get the impression they are destroyed somehow, but I might be wrong. But anyway, it's going to get left down to...
Be good if they are.
Hopefully. But anyway, you start off with 10, 3 of them go, and then he pokes his head up and becomes the absolute authority at that juncture. And I think that's the timing of when the whole system, which at that juncture has gone from Mystery Babylon to is heading towards Babylon the Great. And when he actually becomes the leader, he's the Antichrist. And I'd say that's when we would say that's when the black horse starts riding.
So who is this little horn 11th king, Leah?
He's the Antichrist. The one thing we don't know is his name. Whereas with Donald Trump, we're certain that he is the rider of the white horse. With this one, we don't know. But Thessalonians tells us that the name of the Antichrist more or less won't be revealed until the Restrainer is removed. So we have to wait till Donald Trump finishes his term, and then at that juncture, or at some juncture after that, the Antichrist will be revealed, and it's going to be on the back of these 10 horses that are running, and it's going to, and I guess we'll get a knowledge of who these 10 kings are at this juncture as well, because they're going to be very visible, I would think, at the time when Donald Trump he finishes his period of being the Restrainer. All of a sudden, they're going to be let loose on the world, causing war, all sorts of destruction. So we're going to know who they are.
So it'll be like putting the last piece in the jigsaw. We finally know who the 10 kings is. We finally know who the Antichrist is.
Correct.
Right after Trump goes.
Yep. We might get an indication. I mean, we could speculate on who the 10 kings are, but that's not really our role. We like to follow the Bible pretty carefully on this space, and we wouldn't like to lead people astray in that space.
He's going to be a very powerful man.
He will have global control. And I think this is a thing that a lot of people get confused about with these 10 kings. When we talk about, in Daniel, they talk about these 10 kings coming out, and there's this concept that they're coming out of the old empires, Roman Empire and what have you like that. And that is definitely true, because the Roman Empire did divide into 2 parts. But when you get down to the feet and the toes, you're talking about the 10 toes, or miry clay, and also iron, and these do not cleave. And that's what it says. However, when you look at 10 as a number in Hebrew is complete. And also, if you look at the Bible very closely, it says that the world will become one nation, one world government. So in other words, we're not just talking about Europe or a little bit of the Middle East. We're talking about the whole world. Mm-hmm. So this Antichrist, or these 10 kings, are going to have control of the total world. And this is a warning that people should pay heed to, because this is not going to be an isolated little incident happening in Europe or the Middle East or somewhere else. This is global. And you're going to pay the price for it unless you get your salvation right now. Absolutely. And actually be prepared for this occasion. Mm-hmm. And we've got all the world governments at the present time. You've only got to look around at the way they operate. They all go hand in hand with one another with the same leftist platforms, all about creating a global nation, or the nations into a globalism. And they're not paying any respect for the individuals, being the people in the countries. They don't report to the people in their countries. They are reporting to this globalist entity at the top. Even while we've got Donald Trump doing this, all this backlash all over the world we're seeing is all this undercurrent of what is going to come out in terms of globalism in the future.
We can see globalism as clear as day now, can't we?
Yep. Yep.
We know that as soon as Trump's gone, the globalism is going to come in overnight, basically. It's right there. Trump is holding down the red horse at the moment. As soon as he's gone, globalism is here. We can see it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not that hard to meld them together, and someone's going to do it, the Antichrist.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that I think a lot of these people, I mean, a lot of people are hopeful out there that Donald Trump is going to put all these so-called globalists and evil people in jail, but I think there's so many of them, and I think they've got so much power
Start
and
with
influence.
Obama.
Exactly. And there you go. There's all these sort of people too. So putting it all under a control and actually rooting it out so that it's not going to be non-existent is impossible. It's all going to come back, and you've only got to read the Bible. We know what the story is. This red horse, which is globalism, communism, socialism, whatever you like. Let's call it globalism because it takes a lot of the argument out of the whole thing. But it's all about a globalist society looking to control every person in the world and make them submit to ultimately the Antichrist and Satan. And that's what people have got to be mindful of. And if you're not mindful of this now, you run a serious risk that you're just going to be going along, wavering around, being for this and against this, and so on and so on and so on. The next thing is you'll find that you'll be taking the mark of the beast. Your eternity's gone. You're lost.
If I could give one warning out there right now, it would be pastors, preachers. Please, please, please read the book of Revelation to your churches. That's it. Out of the King James Version. That's the warning I'd put out there.
And read it word for word.
Yep.
Don't read the commentaries. Commentaries hijack the word of God, for sure.
And if you're not sure, I'm talking to the pastors of the world here, if you're not sure where to start, get the book, Daniel Decoded. Get the book, Donald Trump, Restrainer on the White Horse. That'll give you a good insight on where to start. And that'll be a really good thing for your churches in these end times. Those two books set you off on the right track to reading the book of Revelation. It's got the end times and everything in there. Get them, read them. You know, that's a really good way of doing it. Because it's very difficult to get into the book of Revelation. It was extremely hard for us, wasn't it, Leo?
It was, yes.
I mean, Abraham, we looked at it and thought, oh, it's scary. It's a difficult book. And a lot of pastors find that difficulty, turn around and go. But read the Daniel Decoded, read the other book, Donald Trump, Restrainer on the White Horse, and that'll give you a really good insight into end times and the book of Revelation. An easy way in.
I think that's all we can really say at this stage on this. I think we've covered the red horse as much as we need to.
Yep.
So I think we'll call it a day, and God bless everybody, and thank you for watching.
Praise God.